The silent flame of betrayal. Femi was the light of his parents' lives, the cherished and only child of Eo and Ronke. Eo, his father, was a man of integrity, known for his unwavering loyalty and uprightness. As the king's trusted right-hand man in the vibrant Yoruba kingdom of Iluola, Eo stood as a symbol of honor, earning the respect of many, including the king himself. But in the shadows of the palace, envy brewed. High chiefs, jealous of Eo's influence, conspired to bring him down. They saw an opportunity to strike when the king's crown and staff of authority, a symbol of his divine right to rule, mysteriously disappeared. These sacred items were the heartbeat of the kingdom, and their absence plunged the palace into chaos. The conspirators acted swiftly. They secretly placed the crown and staff in Eo's home while he and his family slept peacefully, unaware of the impending doom. The next morning, the palace guards stormed Eo's residence, ransacking it until they discovered the stolen items. Eo and his wife, Ronke, were dragged to the palace, bound in chains. The king, livid with betrayal, could not contain his rage. "By the gods," he thundered, "the one who has stolen my crown and staff shall face death, and their family shall bear the punishment, save for one who will live to bear the shame." Despite Eo's protest of innocence, the conspirators whispered poison into the king's ears, reinforcing their lies. Overcome by anger and grief, the king declared the decree. The punishment would be death by fire, a public display to cleanse the kingdom of treachery. Femi, only 10 years old, watched in horror as his parents were dragged away. He screamed and pleaded, clinging to his mother's wrapper, but the guards tore him away. As the sun set that fateful evening, the square was filled with spectators. The king, seated on his throne, watched as Eo and Ronke were bound to stakes. Flames roared to life, consuming them while their cries echoed into the night. Femi stood among the crowd, tears streaming down his face, his small hands trembling. The king's realization. Days later, the truth emerged. The king's crown and staff had been found exactly where the conspirators had hidden them before framing Eo. Realizing he had been deceived, the king's heart shattered. He summoned the guilty chiefs, but they denied their involvement. Furious and guilt-ridden, the king ordered an investigation that eventually unraveled the conspiracy. By then, it was too late. Eo and Ronke were gone, and the decree could not be undone. The weight of his mistake bore heavily on the king's shoulders. He wept for days, isolating himself in his chambers. Femi's fate. Femi was spared, as the decree allowed one family member to live. He was taken in by the palace servants, but the boy was no longer the cheerful child he once was. He grew up with bitterness in his heart, haunted by the screams of his parents. The once vibrant kingdom of Iluola became a constant reminder of his loss. As the years passed, Femi vowed to honor his parents by seeking justice. He studied under the elders, mastering the ways of the warriors and the wisdom of the ancients. When he came of age, he confronted the conspirators, exposing their treachery to the kingdom. The chiefs were brought to justice, but Femi's victory was hollow. The loss of his parents had carved a wound too deep to heal. Though the king begged for forgiveness, Femi left the palace, choosing a life of solitude. He roamed the lands, carrying the memory of his parents and the lesson that betrayal, once ignited, consumes all it touches. Legacy of the Flame. In the kingdom, Femi's story became a tale of tragedy and resilience, a warning of the devastating power of envy and deceit. Though Femi lived a life apart, his name remained on the lips of bards and storytellers, a symbol of the unyielding spirit of the Yoruba people.